Welcome to Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. Celebrating 21 years of continual public service, Shri and Kira offer you the blessing of the experience of I am as you are. Enjoy timeless wisdom, divine inspiration, community connection, and joyful fun. Discover your best life filled with the peace, love, and joy of the Yoga of Self-Ascension as you ignite your dreams with the law of instantaneous manifestation. And now, sit back and relax and welcome Shri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ram Ka.
And I am, as you are, Master Lady Kira Ra, just saying to you, we are so incredibly grateful to be here with you, to share, to just even begin to touch the surface of the miracles that are unfolding on behalf of us all. And Shri and I are, you might sense it in our energy field, we are still integrating. Everything that has happened, is happening, is continuing to unfold. There is so much to share. And so beloved ones, we want to begin by bringing you right now to the top of the Pyramid of Peace. There it is, right there. And Shri's going to guide us through a beautiful opening, centering experience. And we invite you to enjoy our beautiful, perfect day here at Tosa Blue Mountain and to receive this moment.
So if it's safe to do so, we invite you to bring a hand or two to your heart center, allowing your eyes to close if that's safe. Breathing gently. And now bring in a focused intention. Ave, I recognize the divine. Hail to the divine. On the inhale is Ave. And the exhale is I release and surrender to that energy. Sa, a deep, profound sigh. Let's do that together as a community.
And remember, it's a S-A, sa, with a smile. And I encourage you to keep your eyes open if you feel comfortable and really focus into the pyramid, because the very top of that pyramid, all the way up there, is actually a crystal pyramid with the Avesa symbol radiating in to the Grand Pyramid at the bottom that's also radiating up with Avesa energy.
So beloveds, as we are now breathing, Ave Sa, let's begin together. Here we go. Big breath in, Ave. Sa. Ave. Sa. And Ave.
And are you watching the clouds above the pyramid? As we've been breathing together and collectively, I was watching the energy mission. And one of the reasons that we wanted to start here in this beautiful gift and these energy transmissions is, if you have not yet, at this very YouTube channel, Official Shri and Kira, if you have not yet watched the posted video from yesterday, please, after this show, immediately watch that 6-minute video, because right down there in the Pyramid of Peace right now is the miracle crystal that was gifted to us literally as we were leaving Egypt, and along with another piece of cosmic space Libyan glass and a beautiful golden flame alabaster from the fields of Tel El Amarna itself. We are preparing for a solstice unlike any we have ever had before. And so for those of you that are over at YouTube, remember you can ask us your questions in real time. We are here to be with you. And we have so much to share. We just want to dive in. But we first want to say thank you.
Yes.
Shri and I, really from the bottom of our heart, I don't know, Shri, I think the words would be intensely perfect. This was the most intense, strong, profound. The access that we were granted in Egypt, we are still humbled before.
Yeah.
The rooms that we gained access to, the places that we have been, there was one space that Sri and I were granted access to that I felt sorry for the gentleman. We made sure we never even got his name. He was shaking when he opened the room because this room was so, no one has been in there in over 50 years. And what we got photos of and what we experienced and what we have proof and evidence of is so sacred and so incredibly game changing that we are going to be bringing all of that at Monday Mastery next week. So you want to make a note of two things right now. Number one is this Wednesday, solstice, June 21 at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be in the Pyramid of Peace bringing forward that solstice ceremony as the solstice herself rises. So make a note, try to join us live right here at YouTube. It'll be right here. Just come join us, be there. It's going to be about a 30-minute ceremony. And if you're not there live, check in during that day. Get back to YouTube on the solstice and please be a part of that miracle. The next thing you want to make a note of is this coming Monday night, because what we're going to outline for you today, we invite you to open your heart, open your mind, and relax into your multidimensional knowing, and to perhaps for this moment, play the game of what if with yourself. What if everything we share with you today really is something that you are capable of remembering and calling into this body of form? What if you're ready to know everything through the lens of the Ascended Master in form right now? What if your very presence, the mere fact that you are still on this planet, is for this very moment to be a radiant being of peace, love, and joy at a time when the strength of those energies is the moment before us. Together we are better. And the one thing that Sri and I, before we share a little bit more, and Sri's going to jump right in, but the one thing that Sri and I sincerely learned during our Egypt journey, and during a spectacular moment where we had 14 armed guards with us at all times, something we had no idea, convoys going through streets. It was so much to share, but it was unification that rang true. And I love, Sri, that as we said that, we're going to have to stop. So you see the wind? So as we just said unification that rang true, here's what happened. I'm going to go to camera 2. Hold on, because I want you guys to see what's happening right now. So you can see, I'm showing you, here's Sri. We just had the Piedra de Corazon, and this is really important. We're kind of cutting. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. So, guys, here's what's happening right here. This is the cosmic eye, which was the whole reason Sri and I lived in Uruguay. And it was the Piedra de Corazon, which is this extraordinary miracle stone you can look up online, that called us there. And Sri, I'm going to bring us right back to this camera because we're going to talk more about that in a moment. However, we've been watching the signs from the universe. And when the wind blew those stones, it was reminding all of us that exactly, that as we were sharing and talking to you about what's going on, that the wind drew us all back to the magic that's happening in that pyramid right now. So make sure you also go and watch that other video.
So one of the things I want to invite you to consider is, first off, your life is your spiritual path. Your spiritual path is not something you pick a day out of the week to attend to or a couple of days.
Right.
Those are moments of ripening, you might say. Mm-hmm. However, it is your day-to-day life that is indeed a reflection of your spiritual consciousness.
Yes.
And that said, what is an initiation? Because from time to time, we have initiatory experiences. And I just want to, I know that for us, we did not fully comprehend before we went to Egypt that this was indeed an initiation.
Yet we knew, I'm going to make sure that's not misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because we knew it was an activation.
Yes.
But what we're really inviting you to be with us in this moment is that we ourselves, and Spirit will always keep you on that need to know basis, right, Sri?
Yeah.
Right? So we ourselves were unaware of the expansive initiation that this activation was containing. Yeah.
And I think that one of the beautiful things to invite for each of us that is viewing here and tuning in is you can participate in that through your own loving receptivity. An initiation is to initiate, to start something new, to begin anew. And certainly there are activations and all of this. What we are sharing with you today are some glimpses, some moments that I trust that you will pull in to your own heart, to your own being, and receive benefit from.
And we are going to be sharing with you one of several photos that will most likely blow your mind.
Yeah. And so, and before we get to that, I just want to add one more thing. Thank you for holding presence. So many of you were with us on June 4th. We had a live broadcast from the LUXOR Temple, and that itself was a miracle. We were told that it's impossible to broadcast.
We were like, don't even ask.
Don't
Not
even
going to
ask.
happen.
That's
Not
the
gonna
official
happen.
party line.
Right? It happened so effortlessly. It was truly the miracle journey.
And so the local custodians and guards and officials, when we met with them in person, and they said, okay, we can help you with this. We just need you to go over to the side temple where
and they
all
brought
the
us to a room.
tourists weren't as active.
And they kept the tourists out, and they were full. I mean, they really, not only were we given permission, we were granted this, like, the guards literally protected the room for us during the broadcast.
And so many of you were there, and so many of you have tuned into that video, which is posted at YouTube. And in this moment, as more and more people are joining, I just want to offer a sincere, loving thank you.
With all our heart.
Your heart, your attention is the energy that creates the momentum for positive evolution for us all. It isn't a concept, it isn't a theory, it isn't one practice. It is your presence, your commitment, your intention to be in that unified field and to participate in a loving, proactive fashion. That's what makes this world lift, shine, and heal.
Lift, shine, and heal. I wanted to underscore what my husband just shared with you. I thought that was quite extraordinary. Beautiful one.
So thank you, each and every one of you now, and those who are picking it up in the replay. We are so indebted to your love.
We really are.
We just feel that we want to give more back.
Absolutely. And part of what we're giving back is this solstice initiation. So I want to jump right in. Shri, can we share with them the June calendar?
Yeah.
Because the June, now the one thing that is always kind of fun for me on a personal basis, remember these things are done. This was put out last December, right? And I really had no idea. You know, I listen to Spirit, I feel it, I see it, I try to create for you what they share with me. And the one thing that you'll see is that it said right up there, June 2023 is the only month. And I want you to think about that. Really carry that within. It is the single only month within this entire experience that we're in right now that carries within itself the infinite presence. So June is the infinite presence itself, affirmed by its infinite nature. And that's why, as you gaze at this beautiful Ave Sa symbol there, that's kind of in the left-hand side of the monthly energy, notice that it's coming straight out of the breath, so to speak, of Akhenaten and through the waters, through the sea of neutrality, through the eternal moment of creation. You see that seed of creation, that illuminescence. This is all about illumination as an amplification, because as it shares up there, now is the moment that the ancient ascension keys are revealed. And they are here, they are in front of us, they have been in front of us the entire time. However, it's this next part that's so important. It's humanity's moment of the recognition and conscious awareness. It's been in front of us. There is so much for us to share that it's beyond our ability to say even in this moment. But I want you to remember one thing. This entire month has been about the revelation of the infinite presence, bringing you back to your divine nature. And I want you to look at the solstice on the 21st, coming right up, okay? Here we are today in the energy of this beautiful new moon. We are creation itself. Together in this moment, you have made an active decision to be present right now, to say yes. And as we build into this solstice moment, if you gaze at that energy, you notice that it's like a frequency. It's like it's on the radiance of that really present Ave Sa. And this is why we opened up with this depth of connection to the Ave Sa and the reminder of all the Ave Sa energy that's radiating and is the ignition of the Pyramid of Peace. So as we come forward to this solstice, when we were in Egypt, and you know what, Shri, let's put up the Ascended Numerology. I want to show you the Ascended Numerology as I share this with you. Shri and I have some photos we're going to be sharing with you in a moment, and a lot of things that are happening. But I want you to just look at the body. Look at your body on June, right? Okay, look at your body on June. This is a direct heart infinite connection. Heart infinite connection. It is the human heart stabilizing. It is the high heart activating. It is your ability to hold the lotus chakra open while vision is taking an extra heaping helping of infinite expansion. And if you look at June 2, on June 2nd, we were extraordinarily blessed to walk into the Great Pyramid. We're going to talk about that more in a moment. I'm going to let Shri share about his extraordinary journey down into literally the very bottom of the pyramid. And on that day, it is the Ascension Code amplification, and it was all about vision. It was all about vision. It was that 7. And remember that 2023 itself is the 7 plus the infinite. And then the very next day was the 7 again. And so your vision in the energy of the full moon is in the alchemical ascension experience. And right now, on the 17th, right now, yesterday, where we all are until we arrive at the solstice, we are all in the 8. We are all here right now in the energy of the 8. Your lotus chakra is exploding. It is screaming. It's saying, hey, everything that happened this month, everything that's come together is building, 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 because the big amp where we will all remain until July is happening on June 21 at a solstice amplification that is our infinite nature itself. It is our truth. It is the 5. It is eternal life staring at us again.
Wow. You know, as I stare at this image of the body, I want to remind those of you that have been tracking with us over the months, how many months this year have we been focused on the energy of beingness down in the cradle of the body, the lower chakras in the traditional system? Because we have been preparing the vessel to be in divine connection.
Absolutely.
Without having to transcend the earth.
There it is.
You know, you don't have to die to ascend.
Remember that.
That is really what's happening here, is now the upper chakras are activating, and you have done the work to allow that to be present in your consciousness without being a totally destabilizing energy.
So in the energy of this solstice, 2023 has brought with it the extraordinary moment that ignited the 13-month cycle. Remember, in February, we really kicked this moment in February, opening a 13-month cycle that will actually culminate with the March equinox in 2024. Now, as we have been navigating and as we have been moving through, remember that this is the year of the pyramid opening its eye. This is the year where that pyramid is itself opening up its own spirals. And I believe, Shri, we have the 2023 energies flow. I want to show that to everybody. Yes. So if you look at this right now, I want you to relax your eye through the pyramid and those 3 spirals, and notice that at the bottom of the pyramid, you see that's actually the face of the divine galactic blueprint. You see what's happening there? And notice right below that, you see that truth chakra, and you see that funnel that's coming right up through the truth. It's this funnel that comes right up through the truth that is sustaining the energy flow of creation as the ascension experience itself. And so I really want you to get what I was sharing with you is, so here is our truth chakra. This is where that solstice, this beautiful June illumination, this June illumination is like a spotlight on that which is emerging. And what's going to happen is your heart, as we just saw in the Ascended Numerology, is coming straight up, offering it as its own chalice. You are, I am the chalice, and your truth is now filling the chalice so that it may be the support that sustains the ascended form, as Shri was just mentioning. So how does all that tie into this moment and to what happened in Egypt? Well, the first thing I want to share with all of you is that, and forgive me, it's my shameless plug, you need to buy this book because half of it's in here, right? This book, the Ascension Renaissance, which you can get at Kindle as two small books, or you can get the paperback as 2 books in one. It's at Amazon.com worldwide, English and Spanish. The reason I'm sharing that with you is that it has been all about unification. It is about standing into our expanded field of conscious awareness while in this body of form beyond the sea of victim consciousness. And I believe, I want to just, there it is. So victim consciousness, remember, begins as the victim, rescuer, abuser. You are your own victim, rescuer, abuser. Well, through the experience of the Yoga of Self-Ascension, through the release of the doubt, through the release of that fear, through the adaptation into sincerity, love, and presence as the anchor of trust, you transcend from the victim, rescuer, abuser into the teacher, mentor, healer. Teacher, mentor, healer. To be the teacher, mentor, healer is to be aware of that which I am as you are. To relax the ego into the knowing. And in this moment of divine mastery presence, when long before that calendar was put out, and as Shri and I have been working and blessed to be in this field of conscious co-creation through the law of instantaneous manifestation for over 21 active years with you, the one thing that we knew was that the moment would come when the modeling of the eternal presence and form would be anchored as the gateway for all to be. And when we went to Egypt, let us not forget that the call to Egypt came from Tosa Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to remember that I'll never forget walking all the way up beyond the border here of Tosa Blue Mountain into our Valley of the Kings when I was teleported to the Valley of the Kings. And much has happened since then.
Well, I remember clearly that day, and Master Lady Kira Ra was literally out of her body. Her body was walking up the mountain, and she was floating above the valley saying, oh my goodness, Valley of the Kings. I keep hearing Egypt as she came back so filled with inspiration and recognition that Egypt was holding these keys, these activators, you might call them, these symbolic representations of the ascension energies and wisdoms. And it was at that moment that we said we need to go back to Egypt.
And it started the entire thing. It started these tattoos, even the placement of these tattoos and where they went. And I was clearly told that these tattoos would be rediscovered when we were in Egypt. And many things happened when we were in Egypt, and one of them was that the day that we all went to the Valley of the Kings, Shri and I were unable to go. That we had been navigating so many fascinating experiences, mystical experiences, spiritual experiences that were navigating at so many levels that on that one day we physically could not go. And it was on that day that Falling Snow Woman actually discovered the wall painting of me with the tattoos, everything. And we will be sharing that at Monday Mastery as well. And we're sharing that aspect of it because it was the very next day at the temples of Dendera, at the Horus, at the Hathor temple, that, can we show them some,
Sure.
let's show them first I want you to take a breath because we're going to share this with you and then we'll start receiving some of your questions as well. We have not checked in yet to see them there. Let's start right there with that one. We're going to show you this first because first and foremost, and that's our beautiful Natasha there with me, I'm completely out of body there, as you might be able to tell. We have no idea who actually took this photograph and sent it to us. However, what's happening as you're gazing at that photo right now is I'm sitting, I literally like fell into this column when I connected with the next photo we're going to share with you. And do you want to say anything about the next photo first? Because I don't want to share it with them, because this photo we will share a lot more about at Monday Mastery. This photo, also what you're seeing happening in me right here, was a complete download of the final aspects of the sacred sequence of incarnation, which is why I knew that the alchemical transformation, that the ascended masters came to me. They were very, very clear that I needed to bring this all forward, that this had to be brought and shared again with the world, but I had to wait until July. And you're seeing why in this photo as well. This was a very profound photo in the temple.
And as you can see, I can't quite zoom in this particular software. Kira is in a state of true ecstatic connection, and the joy of that connection is radiating from her. And let's take a peek here at...
Well, I don't want to show them that graphic yet. I want to say one more thing.
Oh, go for it.
Let's go back live again, though, okay?
Yeah.
So the reason I stopped Sri from sharing the next photo with you is many of you might have heard of Zachary Ascension. And you might have heard and read others that have done an really extraordinary job documenting and really doing what Sri and I have done, which is going around the world and literally kicking the tires and investigating ourselves. And what we will share with you is that through our experiences here at Tosa Blue Mountain, through the ancient temple that we have up here, we have literal evidence here, carved in stone evidence. I invite any archaeologist, I invite any investigator to come and try to disprove what we're sharing with you if you want to. And so there's so much happening. And then we had the experiences up at the Valley of the Kings here at Tosa Blue Mountain that led us back to Egypt. We are already aware of the creation energy that happened at Ingapurka, which is in a direct alignment of a pyramidical here with Tosa Blue Mountain and Chobchi, other indigenous sites of creation. I share this with you because Sri and I have been researching and working with this for over 20, our entire lives together in this form. When we walked into Dendera, the Hathor's temple, and when this next photo, when we were shown this is what I was in connection with in the photo that you just saw, and what we are still digesting, and we've been talking about this all morning, is how did we really want to talk about this? But what we are still digesting is that what you are staring at is beyond what Sitchin thought it was. And so let's put it up and we'll talk about it more. And some of you may have seen this before. Please know that every picture you are seeing was taken either by us personally or someone that was in our group. And this is actually a cosmic key. Now, first and foremost, those of you that haven't already brought your eyes right to it, this was tall. I mean, this is the top. This is at the very top of the ceiling.
This is like 14 feet above the ground.
Or more, maybe
50,
even.
Yeah, it could be higher.
It's really high.
That's a big archway down below.
And what you're seeing, and I want you to look at go to the very middle there where you see that beautiful bumblebee, right? So that bumblebee is I'm bringing you there first because if you look to the right, Sri, you want to bring them through what they're seeing?
On this, I have a zoom.
We have a zoom, even better. Here we go, guys. Watch this. Sri's going to have some fun.
Oh.
No, we're not. Not yet.
Let me try again.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to turn it just a second. Let me turn it off and turn it back on again.
Okay.
And see if it'll display here.
There it is.
There
Woo-hoo!
we go.
All right. So I know you're all at home going, oh my God, am I staring at? Yeah, the answer is yes. How about that helicopter? Check that out right there at the top, right?
Yeah, that's from 4 or 5,000 years ago.
All right, and we've got a lot more coming in around this. How about down on there you go. How you like that spaceship? You like that nice saucer? How about right above it? You like that flying cigar-shaped ship? How about down on the bottom here? And one of the things, this is just part of the cosmic evidence that we were blessed to personally witness. And that energy right there, when it was received and came in, what you're looking at, the way I've been describing it is, more than just a representation of cosmic evidence of how things were happening there. What that was really a key. It's a cipher for that temple itself. And what was so profound is that when Shri and I went into the rooms, we went into several locked rooms, but the one that we went into most specifically had more of those symbols and also had the most extraordinarily, perfectly carved, otherworldly being without any doubt. And we have the picture. And we will share this with you at Monday Mastery because we feel it's that important to invite you to begin through this solstice, because with this evidence that we have uncovered and that we were guided to uncover came a huge download of the codes, came the ignition of the greater depth of the hieroglyphic interpretation beyond the Rosetta Stone. That cipher opened up so many other things that we're still researching and we've been putting together and answering a lot of questions with. It is no accident that at this very moment, this specific June solstice, please join us live. This specific June solstice will be an extraordinary, the only way I can describe it is like turning on every light you ever could. It's going to be blinding light for so many people. And then what's going to happen is because of that blinding light, we are going to hit a period where we are at a moment where all the seas are rough, and thereby holding that illuminated presence as the way I want to describe it, as a cosmic ray of stability that will not anchor until the September equinox. And so because of that, we will be hosting a very large September equinox ceremony here at Tosa Blue Mountain. There will be no cost for it. We'll be broadcasting it as well. But if you want to be here live, come here and join us, because the June to September period is extraordinarily important. And these moments and the rest of the codes that we unlocked and the sacred sequence of incarnation coming in July are literally pillars that are lining up to help sustain this potentiality from, let's just say, enclosing itself in a way where everything becomes too rigid. So right now, the seas may be rough, but they exist. So let us all breathe in this illumination and expansion.
You know, it's funny how the mind offers pictures, and while you're talking about the expansion and the rest of it, I just want to share with you a picture in my mind that many of you probably have tuned into the Stargate series, right? It had all their travels and all of that.
Right.
I am remembering that one moment where Jack got his head encapsulated in that ancient device that downloaded all the codes and all the knowledge and basically blew his mind.
That's a really good answer. That's actually exactly what we feel like right now. Good going, Sri. That's a good one.
And so that, you know, is a colloquial picture of the download. Now, how do we unpack that in a fashion that can be useful and supportive for everyone here? And the answer is we need to be patient and allow this to come forward and birth it in the manner in which is the most productive and nourishing fashion. We have over 1,000 photos from this journey.
Sri and I have committed that we will complete the book, because this information has to come out. It's ready to go, and we had to wait for these pieces, these keys.
And so the thing I want to impart to you is both encouraging and inviting your continued participation.
Yes.
For example,
because you're it.
We were blessed to have private access to the giant pyramid, the Cheops pyramid at the Giza Plateau. Now, that's no small accomplishment. And what a privilege it was for our group of 22 travelers.
We were the only people on the plateau.
The only people there.
It was extraordinary.
To start going up those corridors and those steps, and to begin our journey with a ceremony in the King's Chamber. To step into that sarcophagus, to tone, to be in the resonant exchange of energetic information. This is the And this is one of the initiatory experiences that brings forward an activation for those who are ready. It plants seeds for those who will soon be ready. And therein is the beauty of all of this. Even those of you watching and tuning in with us today, is that the energetic of this will birth in your lives at the appropriate time, as it is for us as well.
And I want to share, Sri, because that's so valuable what you're sharing, is that when we were in the Great Pyramid, and those of you that are on our e-card list, that photo you saw, that was taken while we were in this first of everything that happened. Because of COVID and because tourism has been so slow in Egypt up until very recently, where it's picking up again, 12 years ago when Sri and I were in the Great Pyramid, we were rushed. It was hurry, hurry. We were blessed to get an installment, but they had to carry me down. We were kicked out. We had 2 hours in the Great Pyramid, and you could feel the difference that pyramid has not been rush, 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 and lots of people. There was an availability to do more. And I think, when we went from there,
So yeah, and so one of the gifts of having this time in the Great Pyramid is it offered an energetic transmission of the wisdom and the knowings of the pyramid builders and the use of the pyramid. And some of you may know that we are creating a book on pyramids. It ties in with this beautiful structure behind us. And I presented some information on that in Los Angeles at the end of March. The additional info that is now available is fantastic, because the Great Pyramid itself, what the public knows about is the King's Chamber. And then below that, actually directly centered in the pyramid, is the Queen's Chamber. The king isn't lined up as much as the queen.
When we went from the King's to the Queen's Chamber, we won't talk about it on the air today because it's going to be its own divine feminine show about the power of the Queen's Chamber, but the power of the Great Pyramid sits in that chamber.
It's truly, and there are some, they call them air shafts, but we have discovered they're more than that.
I know.
And so some of those air shafts that go from the chambers, now
they do the air too.
Now, what the public seldom gets any access to, but since we had the whole place to ourselves, we went down to the subterranean chamber. And when I said we, only 3 of us made it.
And I want to share with you, and you guys know, we're all in pretty good shape. This thing is so, Sri, there were 4 of us that started going down together. 3 of them made it. I was the one that went back up because how long did you have to crawl on your belly?
Well, there was like 300 yards that were on our belly in a little shaft going down, 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 and you can't turn around once you start.
And this is not open to the public. We were very blessed to have, we have beautiful pictures. We had all of the heads of all of these departments with us, and we have film, and it was just extraordinary.
And so one of the gifts after getting down into the subterranean chamber is it's quite large and opens up. And there is indeed you could call it a pit, that the soil at the very bottom shows lots of signs of water. And there is a shaft that goes, what the guide that came with me said, well, we've never really followed it, but we think it goes under the Sphinx to the Nile. So you consider that there is a whole complex of tunnels under the Sphinx to the Nile, and that water came into the Great Pyramid, which validates one of the books out there, one of the researchers that talked about the pyramid being pumping the water and sharing it. But we're not going there today. No. What we are doing is saying that the wisdom and the interconnectivity of this great structure,
we need their comments, please,
is truly a fantastic opportunity for all of us to broaden our context.
Well, and Sri, I want to comment that my beloved husband really was extraordinary in deciphering, because remember, we are pyramid builders. We are literally building pyramids. And to be a modern day pyramid builder, utilizing all of the wisdom to call forward these ancient codes is exactly why we are here together today. Let us not forget that while we were there, these codes, it's mission accomplished, guys, as far as the codes opening and the download. And I think, as you so adeptly said, Sri, we really had like I will share with you, this whole week I've been in bed since we got back, because it's just been sincerely integrating this massive experience. And so we're able to get over here at the comments. I didn't know if we were looking at a phone or however, but
No,
we'd
we
love
got
to
the
we'd love
comments.
to say hi to you and
I'm just
offer
kind of
some
scrolling
feedback.
through. There's lots of blessings and
I can't see, but she's checking.
well, and here's one that just popped into my. Kate writes, "Why does grief well up in
the rat?
the rat and feel like a block?" I think she means somewhere else.
I think maybe the throat.
The throat.
I'm going to go with throat. And so, because that's what it feels like. You know, I will share one thing with you right now is that grief is actually part of the fear energy that is working in the field of density right now. Many, many, many are feeling grief, and there are many reasons too. I myself am still navigating the grief of losing 2 of our animals, and on a personal level, but also as Shri and I were wandering through the world, it was very evident that Mother Gaia is dry. It was very evident that there are water problems flying over many different continents. One of the things you can absolutely see is how low the lakes are and how low, you know, from the air, you really get a very good visual of that. And so we are at a moment where, and I always go back to the ensoulments, where I believe they said, shed your tear and then know, just know that Mother Gaia is doing exactly what she needs to do. Shed the tear for that which would hold on to density, and then with steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust, move into that which you are.
Yeah.
Be the ascended divine mastery presence. And that's what's happening. That's what these codes are doing. Shri and I, you know, I'm still wrestling with the fact that we honestly found me. That everything I was told, that the reason I put these on my arms, that the reason we were sent to go, that falling snow woman, of course, was the one who found it. You know, that all of us are at a moment where we're facing our divine, why are you here? And that's why the sacred sequence of incarnation, you know, if you have not yet put yourself into the alchemical transformation experience, please, please, please get to Shri and Kira right now and register. In July, this information that's being shared that the Ascended Masters made so clear had to be done in July has expanded infinitely since we've been on our journey. Shri, what else are we receiving from our beautiful community?
There's just lots of love. I'm just, you know, Robert writes, love, love, love you guys. She says, talk to you tonight. And he was one of the people that was on the journey. Here's Shrimpton.
Hey, Shrimpton.
I've been reading the I Am discourses out loud every night before I go to sleep. Way to go.
Yeah, go.
An amazing transformation has taken place because I cannot seem to muster any judgment. And I feel
what a
at
shame.
peace. Okay.
Hey, right on. I hope
no extra charge for that.
Be there at Monday Mastery for sure. Be there. You know, so much happening, and I love it. Look at this. We're finally getting rain in Alberta. Just a shout out to Marianne. Awesome. And I love it. There's Bhatia. You know, Bhatia was with us. I can't describe the King's Chamber. It was a huge portal and it activated within me. Yes. And, you know, so much. I'm glad that all of you that were in Egypt are in there sharing with everyone right now. This is the moment. And I want to go back to something that we were sharing with you a few weeks ago, because this is actively happening and it's important to remember. And I want to here it is. I want you to gaze at the second unification. And, you know, I was mentioning earlier that when we were in Egypt, it's all about unification. And when Shri and I came back from the March experience, remember that all of the unification began and opening. And why is this important? Why is this specific one the one I'm showing you? Because it's the 2 eyes releasing their sense of, I'll say, self-focus, to realize that as they see and reflect each other, the greater harmony begins. The greater unified field is here, and we become so much more productive in our multidimensional presence. And I'm sharing our multidimensional presence guide with you again, because this is why the codes are coming through. This is why this June solstice matters so much. This is why holding, and Shri and I will be disseminating these codes between June and culminating in this really huge September presence at the equinox, because let's not forget how this all began, right? That third dimension has like jellified because the planetary thought body has received in 2023 the support it needed through spiritual arrogance. The energy of arrogance is our number 1 if there's anything that you think, if somebody said to you right now, what is the greatest challenge to this world? What is the greatest challenge to our existence? It's arrogance. Because the energy of arrogance prevents us from moving forward. It absolutely, and in this collapsed fourth dimension, we see this is why the extreme duality arose, and it started happening as it erodes, and it's still eroding the lower portions of that fifth dimensional anchor ship. So how do these codes come in? Look over at the eighth dimension and that ninth dimensional portal. If you see right there, the seventh dimensional portal is active mastery presence with conscious awareness through the release of judgment. Shrimpdom, there it is, right? And so as we are here right now, when we return to Egypt, because Sri and I were there 12 years ago, and that was really a seeding for us to be able to do what we did now. Yeah. But when we returned in the aspect of divine mastery presence, prepared to receive in the energy of sincerity, love, and presence, everything opens. Everything opens. And this June solstice is going to put a beacon on everything without judgment, which means everything is opening.
Yeah. Everything is opening. And so much is happening in our world of experience. The polarities are dancing in different ways in different countries, and global alignments are happening, and we are witnessing now more than ever to see the oneness and reclaim mastery, to not be whipsawed by the storm of the outer world. And I just want to acknowledge with love the Egyptian people. Yes. One of the things, we certainly have our observations as the state of their economy and the rest of it, but the people that we met, a couple of them actually articulated, you are family. We know we all have connection through ancient Egypt.
And they sincerely want you to know that. And they asked us to share that.
And to be able to say, you are our family. Thank you for visiting this homeland. Thank you for participating in this. And I want to offer a hug and an acknowledgement to all of those people in Egypt. They are indeed carrying a frequency for the benefit of all.
And we want to share another aspect of the revelatory moment at hand, and that is, do you have anything of Tel El Amarna we can show available or no? Any photos? No. So Monday, you want to be there on Monday. We were very, very blessed to get to Tel El Amarna, which is, of course, the home, the new capital that was built by Akhenaten. And when we were in that experience of Tel El Amarna, down in the pyramid right now is a beautiful golden, a gold flame, I would call it, alabaster that Sri selected. And the reason I'm bringing that to your attention is because it's down there getting ready for the solstice. When we arrived at Tel El Amarna, this beautiful man and his wife came forward, and he came running up to me. Didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. But as Sri was talking about the people, he put his arms around me. I put my arms around him. We both started crying. And he whispered into my ear and said, I remember you. You were the only one that would ever listen to me. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for bringing others here. And that was just the first moment of what happened at Tel El Amarna. And we have video. We have found at other temples we went, and at Denandera, we found the creation seeds. What many people call, I believe Sitchin had photos of this as well, what they think are big light bulbs. Taking that into the room that Sri and I went in, that none of those researchers had access to, those are more than light bulbs. We have pictures of the energy literally transmitting between people and how people are receiving things. And all of that we will be documenting in our book and documenting through sharing them with you during these next few months. What we're asking for and inviting is your patience. We feel a great responsibility in what's been offered and shared, and we feel a great responsibility in protecting the people that made it possible for us to experience it. We feel a great responsibility in how we share it, and we thank you for trusting us in how we begin disseminating this information. And the amplification is beginning Wednesday with this extraordinary solstice. And I want to again invite you, please join us. Be there live with us if you can. It will be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time live at our YouTube channel. And please make sure you're there with us next Monday night as well.
Yeah, it'll be in 10 days or so.
Yeah.
The thing, I also want to add is that in order to convey with accuracy and without any overlays, just to convey that which has been recognized. It does take a little time. We want to organize the photos, and we've only been home a couple of days. So we're very excited because what has transpired has indeed been everything that was promised, so to speak.
Yes.
The activation, the codes. And I want to speak to Tel El Amarna just for a moment.
Yes.
Many of you know about the pharaoh Akhenaten or Akhenaten and Nefertiti, his beloved. What we felt more significantly than conceptually, just walking the plateau, it's all covered with sand now.
And it's huge.
We're talking miles.
You have to be
miles.
there to get how huge. It took us an hour once we arrived just to go where we wanted to go.
So this pharaoh and his beloved
Nefertiti
broke the dogmatic tradition that had evolved over time in Egypt and said, no more are we going to have the multiple deities and the priests that you have to see for this one and priests for this one.
The ones you have to pay to keep
you got to pay this one to do
go
the
to
blessing. And he said, monotheism, there is one God, and you can access that energy through the sun.
The power of illumination.
Illumination. I believe, and we'll talk more about that at another time, that the archaeologists said they worshiped the sun. That was a superficial understanding of what he brought forward about looking through to the center of the cosmos.
You know, the one... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, because the one thing that was so profound, and we will be bringing all this, the Tel Amarna things together, it was very evident when I was standing in this one room. It was as if I had walked into a film. And I was standing there, and in one moment, I was smelling it, breathing it, seeing it, being it, watching children, hearing it, yet aware that I was not in person in it, aware that my experience of that moment was as a cosmic being present to assist and facilitate and in other ways. And what was so extraordinary was to know that was the last time we attempted as a society to sincerely step into a golden age, to sincerely step into the Yoga of Self-Ascension, to carry our fully divine embodied presence in form. Imagine what it took. The whole time, it was overwhelming for me. Imagine the courage. I mean, imagine the courage it took Nefertiti and Akhenaten to go against all the priests, to go, that's like, to stand up to all the bullshit and to say, and then to move, to have the gall to move and say, we're going to establish a capital city and it's going to carry this energy. We're going to model living and the experience of being in those tombs and feeling the moment where it was about children thriving. It was about illumination. It was about self-revelation. It was about society being supported, that together we were better. It was true unification. And to see, I want you to breathe that in, feel that, and know that we did it. We did do it, but it didn't last. Because the minute Akhenaten fell, that lineage, that beauty, that energy, the ones that were carrying that light were immediately, and you really felt it. Mm-hmm. You really felt the energy of the priests, because remember, most of the destruction done there was actually by the priest class who wanted to regain control. And I'm inviting you to consider that, because right now in this potentiality, how awesome, through that sacred sequence of incarnation, that you are here right now, that you're still breathing, you're still carrying your consciousness, and you are expanding. Because right now in this moment and this is why we had to get to Tel El Amarna, and it was not easy to get there. It was really a sacrifice.
That's a huge journey to get there.
Yeah, and even getting there was a miracle.
Yep.
But to know and to touch, to physically touch and literally have that teleportation experience right there and we're gonna experience that and share that with you. And we have all the pictures to share with you right now that you are capable of doing exactly what I have done, what Shri is doing, what we are here to model for you. You are capable of carrying your divine mastery presence in full conscious awareness of the totality of the all that I am as you are, while in this body of form. I will share it is not easy because this is only the second time we're doing it, and Tel El Amarna was the last time. But think of the courage it took. Think of the, I mean, really, I was in awe of the courage and the fortitude and the steadfast commitment, the focused awareness and the complete trust that Nefertiti and Akhenaten shared, and how everything was about their families. Everything was about their children and other families. And when you see it there, huge reliefs in the tombs that are all about the rays of light illuminating the abundance of our unified presence.
Yeah.
To carry, I would dare say they were the last ones who could truly have an effect in that type of experience in that moment in this planet, but they were truly doing their best to invite the all to expand beyond the limitations and to remember that the truth of your wisdom is right in you. I am as you are.
You know, one of the things, just to echo
Please.
that, is that many of the hieroglyphics, especially on the tombs or whatever, were celebrating the life of the pharaoh. You know, they were kind of that memorial for the grandeur of the leader.
Right.
In Tel El Amarna, the hieroglyphics, the carvings in the stone included the entire community. They would show the Aten, the sun, with the rays going
Everybody
to
equally.
the houses, to the
Everybody.
horses, to the people, and when they chipped, you know, when they drew the ray, just feel this for a second.
Yeah, really feel it.
Here's a ray of sunshine coming to you, and right at the tip of the ray is a little hand holding an ankh. We are giving you life. Giving you life.
Because you
and
are
it went
eternal.
to everywhere in the entire kingdom.
Right?
It wasn't just for the pharaoh.
You are eternal. Our quest of cosmic presence, our literal documentation, we have photo evidence, we have miracle evidence. We had we were allowed into, they unlocked a sacred Sekhmet chamber that no one is allowed into. And one of our beloved travelers, journeyers, this incredible group of masters that co-created all of this with us together, right after I spent time with this and we activated it, the next photo she took, there was a pillar of light coming straight out of the top as everyone was starting connecting. So we have the photo evidence in more ways than one. And the cipher that we showed you, and we'll show you, can we show them the cipher one more time?
Sure.
The cipher that we showed you earlier, we're going to be sincerely, there it is, sharing more about this. And this is actually a cipher. And it is showing you things that were absolutely there. And again, this was at the archway. This was when it all began. You'll also see right down here, the pyramid within the pyramid, of course, was already there. The ankhs, what we have now learned were actually energy devices. There was active interaction with beings from multiple worlds during this time. There was nothing that was normal or abnormal about it. It just was what it was. And we have been able to truly put together the pieces that have been elusive because of the access that we were granted. And we are just really deciphering how to honor all of us and thank you for the blessing of being. Please be with us on the solstice. If you can't be with us live, just check into our YouTube channel during the day and make sure you grab that ceremony and be there for the next Monday Mastery.
Monday Mastery, you can register to get the link at
ShriKira.com. And Alchemical Transformation. This July, those of you that are ready, the Ascended Masters made it so clear that it was time for the full understanding of the sacred sequence. Remember that the sacred sequence of incarnation is the alchemical transformative sequencing of your DNA. And through the cipher revelation, that experience now just went to a new level. We are so grateful to be back here at Tosa Blue Mountain, and we are so grateful to have had the honor to travel the world with you. We love you so dearly.
And as we're going to give you a little closing film, but before we do, I just want to offer once again our love, our gratitude, and our respect for you. Together, we've got this.
And there is so much more to come. It's exciting.
We love you.
You know, as you bring your hand to your heart, many people have asked Shri and I, what's the Ascension Renaissance and why is it here? And Part of it is what you're breathing and what you're feeling right now. It's that moment of deep connection with Gaia herself, with our cosmic heritage, with the absolute release of all judgment, to know and not be afraid to be. And in that moment, the truth will be revealed and it will illuminate.
This Renaissance is an expansion of consciousness, to be able to fully know I am not just this body, I am not just these thoughts, these emotions. I am a spiritual being celebrating my existence.